I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the breakfast burrito that gives you the runs before lunch. For I am Darkwing Duck. Wait.
Where have you been?
About time you showed up.
Who are you? Where am I? And why are there bloody knives on the wall?
Ask too many questions.
Yeah, enough dilly-dallying. Let's get this review started already. Welcome back, everyone, to Diving Into DuckTales, and give me that.
Oh.
So yes, today we are finally doing it. We are finally getting dangerous. Oh man, this is it. This is the big one. I think every single DuckTale fan has been looking forward to this frickin' episode ever since they heard that Darkwing was going to appear in this series. Like, this is the tumultuous one, and it's an hour long, and that, you know, it's going to be amazing. What do you guys think?
I'm looking forward to this, and I'm feeling like if it does well, and I know there's a lot of speculation around this, that it could actually be another spin-off.
I mean, I honestly would like that, because I know, like, they've said before that, oh, we don't know if we come up with enough material for a new Darkwing thing, but honestly, having rewatched it, I think there's a lot they can do. They can fix some of the issues with the past one. They could, you know, basically do what they did with DuckTales. It's perfect. So I definitely, like, I hope to God, like, because, I mean, they've already showed this in full on YouTube. They haven't done that since the pilot, so you know this is a big deal. So any predictions before we get started?
I know we've been talking so much about how with each week with each of the episodes and how it's going to tie in with, you know, with Fowl and stuff. I don't know how much we're going to get that here. I feel like this is more of a self-contained kind of thing. I'm not expecting anything like to tie in too much with what's going on with the main plot of the season so far, but I'm just want to see where they're going with this, like, because I saw in the trailer, like, all the different, like, DuckTales villains are in there. I mean, the Darkwing Duck villains are in there. So I'm curious to see how they're going to incorporate that into this new, I guess you could call this, like, Disney afternoon type universe that they've created with DuckTales. Well,
now that we have interdimensional travel and everything, we've already had that, but since that's the explanation now for why we have all the characters we have now, I'm pretty certain that's going to be their solution to getting all the past characters incorporated into here and having it make sense. And who knows, maybe we have, like, others from, like, other universes and stuff. You watch Bonkers shows up out of nowhere.
I'd be surprised if that happened. It'd be like, well, okay, it was Disney afternoon, but Bonkers?
Who knows? Anything goes at this point.
I know.
It's like they said with Goofy, never underestimate the power of a celebrity cameo. Oh man, so let's get started, everyone. Let's get dangerous. Let's get started. Play.
A metropolis overrun with the worst kind of crime.
So Gotham?
Super crime. Where the purple protector stands alone, dutifully watching for...
Dr. Bulwer may be a bit unorthodox, but his lab is cutting edge. If he says he's onto something big, I trust him. His latest project
You're gonna regret those words.
Revolutionary, profitable, reckless. Bradford doesn't know how things work.
I'm still on the phone.
I don't know how it works. Me and LP don't have time for nerd stuff. I scored an exclusive interview with Launchpad's pal Drake that is sure to boost my online viewership. We're talking...
How long are they on this bridge?
Have you been on the Washington Bridge? It takes like 2 hours to cross that
I
thing.
don't know. He's just a real super guy.
When the chips are down, he really knows how to get dangerous. So this Drake guy is Darkwing Duck.
You're so good at secrets.
Nice. I wonder if his secret lair's in the same place. Ow. But no opening. But then again.
Like the Japan episode.
There he is.
What a momentous honor. Ooh, let's take a picture.
It's like a South area.
Call me Taurus or Terry, Junior Woodchuck Duck Robotics champion 4 years running? I'd hire you right now if you weren't too short for the lab coats. And Louie, huge fan of Louie Inc. Groundbreaking stuff, young man.
We were really doing good work until the monster
He's
tried
a
to kill me.
stalker.
I need this old monster after my money too. But first, I will need something from you. The most powerful force in the world.
Love.
A childlike sense of wonder.
Mr.
Well,
Mola,
that'd be
I
two.
take it with me everywhere I go.
How can you afford these things?
That flaps in the night. I am the toddler kicking the front seat of pride. A motorcycle your face? Oh, hey, help me.
This is amazing. First you loved Darkwing, then you played Darkwing. Now you are Darkwing. This is like every dream I've ever had. Made of waffles, right? Oh.
Come in junior sizes? Are these smoke bombs? They are smoke bombs.
Quit wasting those!
Shiny. Launchpad's pal Fenton hooked me up. His talents are wasted designing doodads for that hack Gizmo Duck. Only you, me, and the motorcycle.
On the old TV show, Darkwing faced the vilest villains imaginable. Bushroot, Quackerjack, Megavolt, Liquidator.
Well, those are fictional villains from the old TV show,
So your real-life villains must be even more impressive.
Oh, sure, yeah, about that. Yes, on location live stream crime fighting. Computer, crime.
He hasn't gotten any.
Displaying map of Saint Canard.
There's no crimes.
Meh.
St. Canard is supposed to be the supervillain capital of the world.
Not since the new mayor took charge and cleaned up the place.
Hi, Tahani.
Computer, are you sure?
Sorry, which of us has a sophisticated auto-intelligence? Oh, right, it's me, the big computer. There's no crime.
You just missed it.
No, there wasn't.
Oh, man. Without a
We've got
superhero,
Tahani and Scott in this episode.
And
Sean.
John, excuse me, yeah.
So you want to fight crime? Let's get it.
Dangerous.
Gentlemen, I give you the ramrod. Should have put a tarp over it for a dramatic reveal.
That sounds suggestive.
Yeah, really.
Powered by a unique circuit key, it makes anything.
Anything?
What is it?
Everything. What's your favorite food?
Pizza! Yes.
So, we use the key.
Like I said, didn't we just mention about altering...
The fabric of time and space.
Ugh.
Hey, I like haggis. Don't you judge
It's
me
an
either.
acquired taste.
If you like liverwurst, you'll like that shit.
Who cares? Send that baby to Ruby's. It's incredible. Where do the materials come from? If you taste that, it's success. Oh no, actually, it's sheep's bladder.
Ugh.
Virtuous violet vigilante surveys the city for sin. Sorry, could you film from the other side? My skin looks weird at this angle. We've been here for hours.
And I will cherish every second.
Such a fanboy.
Would you be available to come down? No. Crime. Time to
It's a moving company.
Yes.
Even says
All night movers.
Missing misdeed has been immured, you malfeasant. Glass breaking and oh, I am so sorry.
serves you right.
Yeah.
Split with the knee.
Ah,
Mm.
there she is.
My clever ruse lured them out of hiding. The terror that flaps in the night. I am the turnip that turns up in your beet salad.
Ah, that's disgusting.
Here.
Ow.
Hi, I'm gonna need you to sign a waiver to be on this show.
Ah.
Not so fast, little girl.
Let me go! Dwarf Mama can't see me!
Hi, Goslin.
I thought if any of us would be arrested, it'd be Louis. I can vouch for these two. I don't know the masked one. Seriously? I started a movie for you. We fought the moon together. You dressed up as me.
Yeah, really.
I know exactly who he is.
Oh well, it's the lead.
Oh,
hey,
Allison.
Allison.
Of Saint Canard.
She's Mayor.
Supercrime prevention
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And while this is not an invitation for a bunch of other costume yahoos to do the same, heroism must be rewarded.
Well, that explains why there's no crime. She's really efficient.
Yeah.
Like Darkwing Duck are out there protecting us.
Oof.
Maybe I should keep my key on me.
She's efficient and she doesn't have a glom gold.
This is Dewey's hat.
How many things do you keep under there?
I'm trying to figure out how the ramrod works. How can you create something from nothing? And I know I've seen the circuit on that key before.
Why would you try to
It must be the work of very godparents!
Or a genie.
Also, if you made it a signal, the machine value just right. Stop ruining things for me!
Do it tonight! Do it tonight! Finally, a real celebrity on a show.
Yeah, really.
So, DW.
And he's filming in their lair!
every turn. Also, I've got a cookbook. So,
That's good flavorous.
Cool. So, is stopping that
I want that
towards
now.
Bulba on your busy schedule? The residue from your smoke bomb contained traces of salt water, so I knew you'd be by the bay. Also, that kid is live streaming. It was not hard.
There we go.
Here, this place is huge!
Now do it! Do something!
I can't. This is good television.
Terribles! My grandpa, Dr. Bottlemeyer, built the ramrod under Bulba. The ramrod was unstable and dangerous. One night, he went to warn Bulba and never came back. Now Bulba's claiming that he built the ramrod. But if I can get that ramrod key, I can prove it's dangerous, stop Bulba, and find my grandpa.
Okay. Do you have any proof?
Besides that whole story and the fact that Bulba's a jerk.
I know what it's like to search for someone that's missing. And I know what it means to have someone believe you. Let me be your Webby. I mean, we'll do it.
Still don't get it.
Doesn't know you, dude.
You'll help?
Let's gaz for it, Goslin.
Please.
Oh, that was not.
You're trying too
No.
hard.
Get it? Because my name is Dewey and I do things.
You want to make a difference, right?
That look really weird for people driving on the bridge.
Maybe these children should be in school. This
We're
one's
actually
showing
throwing
us asking
actual
questions.
science into this.
I also know to trust
Like he's the first character that says they should be in school.
I'd like to see the ramrod plans.
Oh boy.
This is gonna have some dark twists at the end, is it?
If this is like the pilot of the original Darkwing, I know exactly where it's heading.
Ow.
Ah.
Anna, search for clues.
And par for the course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just let me get something from my filing cabinet.
That's odd. It's slightly open.
Here it is.
Ooh.
This is the index. The map will take you to the Ramrod Plan's room, where all your questions should be answered.
That's rather elaborate.
Who's that?
My best friend. Thaddeus was always the smart one. Too smart. Sometimes he couldn't shut that big brain off. He came to the lab one night raving about fixing a flaw in the ramrod. And
Whoa, slow down.
But he didn't listen. He tried to reprogram it, and the ramrod backfired. Thad was blasted. Poof. I covered up the accident because I didn't want people to think he was a crackpot.
He zapped him out of existence.
He's not gone. I can bring him back.
We'll be right back to the front. Up wheels and winning Mario Kart
I don't know if you
racing on
remember the
screen
pilot
and
at
onto
all.
the track
Oh.
like never before. Now you can
been
race
forever.
Mario.
In the original pilot, Bulba had henchmen kill her grandfather. So he was trying to figure out how to work this machine. The problem was they killed him before they found out how it worked.
Yeah.
So that's why they went after Goslin to find out, you know, if she knew how it worked. And yeah, this is just as bad, if not worse. He freaking snapped him out of existence. I mean,
Yes.
they might have a twist, he might live, but I have a feeling it's not going to be that way.
But I find it interesting because if I'm not mistaken, in the show, Goslin was Darkwing's
Adopted daughter.
Adopted daughter. Okay.
Yeah, because her grandfather was dead. She and her parents were
Okay.
dead. So
I was refreshing myself on Wikipedia, like all the on Darkwing's backstory and stuff, and like all the characters.
God, please stop, or you'll get hurt.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Goslin! Dewey, let's, gauze for it.
Ugh.
She's doing it.
Now Dewey's in love.
Hold it right there, young lady.
Aha! It's Selego's circuit. Selego was a mad thinker who believed that every story, every work of fiction was actually a window into an alternate dimension. He was working on a device to open doorways to those dimensions. Waddlemeyer must have invented it by accident. The ramrod doesn't create items from nothing.
Queen of
it
Fables?
sucks them in from other dimensions. Because
Huh.
it's unstable, so
It ties in with like quantum mechanics and quantum theory.
He might be alive somewhere in another dimension. You said you checked the ramrod yourself. So is it stable or not?
Oh, well, of course it is.
Then there's no harm in trying to find him, is there?
And when we do, Grandpa can tell us exactly what happened.
Oh, Goslin, so like your grandpa. You both ask too many questions.
Yeah, Eric.
Both into another dimension.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Looks like Launchpad's really grabbing the bull by the horns.
Oh. Cut
It
out
was
the
there.
bowl.
It was there.
Cut out the bowl.
Hate you both.
It's over. No one can save you now.
I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the scourge that pecks at your nightmares.
You are finished.
No, I am Darkwing Duck.
Haha, uppercut. And boot to the head.
Okay, that was pretty cool. Why are you swooping?
Oh, you want a grappling hook? I wish he had like Batman's like glider cape.
Yeah, really.
Amazing. I mean, not as good as the old Darkwing Duck show, but close.
Hey,
Fans.
now let's use that ramrod key to find my grandpa. Where is it?
I left it with Bulba.
Why didn't you grab it?
I was saving your life.
Fine, then let's go grab it. Bulba?
God damn it.
Hey, where have you been? Epic superhero adventure. And you? Our own adventure. Charts.
we have to the ramrod. The more it's used, the harder it is to close the dimensional rift.
This Duragi is dangerous.
Well, then, let's get dangerous.
You have no right to say that line. Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh. Awesome!
We'll be right back to the
So they open up a portal into the 90s Disney afternoon dimension.
And they took them right out. Oh my god, it's so cool! They look more badass than the original selves, though.
Saint Canard.
It's no
I
duck!
hate to say this, but an interdimensional rift has opened,
Huh.
allowing 4 supervillains from an old TV show to wreak havoc.
Eh.
I urge citizens to stay in their homes. If I understand one of Darkwing Duck's multiple catchphrases correctly, when there's trouble, you call DW.
DW.
Darkwing, Saint Canard is calling you now.
Well, after careful deliberation and strategizing, I've come to a well-researched conclusion. We are doomed!
That doesn't inspire confidence.
Go home now.
But those are super villains. They got superpowers and everything.
What did I tell you about super wishes?
I've been going
Technically 3 of them do, but whatever.
Can I call you back? Oh yeah, sure. I'm flexible.
You are the terror that flaps in the night. Come on, act like it. You can handle these chumps.
You fought moon invaders.
Yeah, really.
Kind of.
Oh!
I'm a freaking prophet! Oh my god!
Of water.
What?
I told you! Oh my god! I was told to use these powers to annoy.
What are we supposed to do?
Oh, that's what we need. An adventure family. Goslin, you're the Dewey. Lucky.
Ah.
You're the Launchpad. And I'll be the single most important member of the family. The uncle. Bless me.
Family is the greatest scheme.
Still looking for my real family.
Supervillain located in the abandoned toy warehouse district. There's an entire district for that?
Villain, right?
Okay then. Let's get
Dangerous.
How many times are you gonna say that? I mean,
As many times as it takes, goddammit!
She's got a point there.
Toy District. I assume they're gonna fight Quackerjack.
Wait, Uncle Scrooge! I knew you were a phony.
Come now, Huey. It's just
He's a phony! Big fat phony!
Tear a hole in reality.
You have to tear things down first before you make something new. That's innovation!
But what if there was nothing there to begin with?
Alternate dimension.
What are you doing?
Ah, Director Buzzard.
I hired you to crack the Salego circuit for Foul's master plan. And
The
instead
foul is involved.
this, we're trying to rein in chaos, not create more of it.
Too afraid to embrace a daring new vision.
And what if Scrooge's family learns the extent of our plot against them? You're risking our entire operation. How many times must I say it? We are not supervillains.
Too bad, because here at Bulba Super Villain Solutions, we are.
Oh boy. Oh damn.
Oh.
Look, he's shot.
We need something big and splashy to announce ourselves to the world. Any
Splashy.
suggestions?
We could kill Darkwing Duck.
Wonderful! You're my new vice president. Now go get it.
So now he's pissing off Fowl. Yeah, I'm sure this is gonna end well.
Yeah, really.
City will be my playground.
Well, Uncle Launchpad thought everyone might be hungry, so I packed snacks.
I mean, what should we do about Quackerjack?
This setup reminds me of a Darkwing episode.
Oh, yeah. How did that one start again?
Daring Duck of Mystery.
Champion of the right.
Let me out of here, or mark my words, you'll face the wrath of
Bradford? What are you doing here?
the chaos and was concerned about your dear Uncle Scrooge's well-being.
I know why you're
Oh,
really
shit.
here.
Huh?
You're worried this attack is gonna cost McDuck Enterprises money.
Oh no, you found me out.
Yes, that's exactly.
It's hard. Try taking the lock on the bin. Not that I have.
That's a good idea. Aaron, track my homing beacon and send an extraction team.
Copy that. We're coming for you.
Oh boy.
That mean we're gonna get more foul?
Then again, Fowl wasn't Darkwing Duck originally, so
Yeah,
like
it makes sense.
Stand back.
Here, and I'm trying to be heroic by keeping you safe.
From the banana? Thanks, but I don't.
It's one of Quackerjack's toys. It's
After it
deadly.
works for juice boxes, it's revealed the toy army was a distraction from something. Oh, it was a giant robot. You know who playfully banters? Family.
Darkwing, still not in time, buddy. Hold on.
Poor Fenton. Whew.
We lost him.
Thank God for convenient side tunnels.
What are you gonna do? Fight that thing? I mean, what fantasy are you living in?
I think everyone's dehydrated. Quick, buddy, from home by having your home destroyed. Ask me how.
For reference, he used to be a salesman.
Dewey, you are no good at charades and game night.
Darkwing finds the ramrod.
Is he doing the Naruto run?
We can get out of here.
Uh-oh.
This is the only way through.
There's
Is
Bushroot.
that some kind of Venus flytrap? Maybe exposed to a growth serum?
It's Dr. Reginald Bushroot, a prominent scientist who has accidentally turned into a plant monster. Those vines are part of his root system. If we trigger them, he'll know we're here.
What? I watched with
Launchpad made
Launchpad.
me watch a lot of Dark.
Just stay put instead of confronting the. Did you ever consider that not everything should be a fun adventure?
All the time, but no one listens, so...
There's trouble called G-E-W.
Hit me with a saxophone, Bradford.
Somebody shut up.
Extraction team is closing in on your location.
What was that?
I believe the blue one is playing an imaginary saxophone. Like so. Dun, dun, dun.
God damn it.
All these earthlings like is to hold a cute baby kiss or an embellishment with a saxophone.
Let me guess, you haven't felt this alive in years.
I've never been closer to death thanks to your constant foolhardy adventure. If you didn't meddle with forces you didn't understand, magic at the spell would never have broken the bin. The moon would never have invaded Earth, and all of reality wouldn't be in jeopardy. Someone has to put an end to this.
Tell us how you really feel.
Forgot to take my brain medicine today.
You mean the one in your hand?
Yes.
Why don't you take it now?
Why don't I?
That is gonna hurt to poop out later.
Better.
You mean, okay, everyone, change your clothes, because we're going back out there.
You guys have other clothes?
My grandpa isn't getting any less missing.
And if you won't listen, then you are staying here until this is all over.
You can't make me. You're not my family.
Not yet.
Nice night.
I know I'm being hard on him, okay? I need to find my grandpa.
Of course. Which is why DW hasn't slept in days. He spends all night talking on the phone with Fenton, trying to figure out how to get your grandpa back.
I'm detecting
How long have he been here?
universal energy. By my calculations, Bulba can only use the ramrod one more time. There's no safe way to bring Dr. Wildmeyer back.
That's unacceptable. I can't accept that.
Sorry, but that's the reality.
I can't let her down.
Ugh.
I'm awake and ever vigilant.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna get some
I'm gonna get him some Red Bull.
You could use some too.
Red Bulba.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
He is one man with no superpowers. Bring it to me.
And yet he kicked all your
I
asses.
am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the last bite in the soggy cereal of sin. So
What does that taste like?
So,
Oh, good, you're all here. Maybe you could attack me one at a time.
Darkwing was right. We've gotta be stealthy. This isn't a show. But they don't know that. Launchpad, what do you know about Darkwing Duck villains?
oh, this is my moment.
Neck.
Now he's a sore throat.
That's gotta hurt like hell.
Listen, bagpipes. A sea box, not me. Oh no, we killed him.
This is Black Aaron, the Foul Director Box. The extraction team is almost there.
I knew it. You're a bad guy.
Yes, I definitely am.
Well, the cat's out of the bag.
Yep.
A sea box got ate by ice.
Oh my god.
This is a dumb plan. I immediately regret it.
Oh, I get that. Is he gonna start talking with a Cajun accent?
Jake and the Bugmaster come to help take out all nemesis.
Oh my
Darkwing Duck.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Gator in a henhouse.
They brought him back! Like, I'm impressed, but I'm also disturbed.
Yeah.
Anyone can do the right thing when it's easy, but it's what you do when things are hard that makes you a hero.
And we're rolling in 3.
He knows a lot about this one thing.
I am the terror that flies in the night. I am the technical difficulty you're about to experience.
Darkwing Duck.
Introducing the fearsome floor. Guaranteed to destroy Darkwing Duck or your money back.
Only 4.
You're an actor and a launchpad. How are you going to stop 4 supervillains?
Well, technically, Bushra isn't really a villain, per se.
Keep forgetting you're nerds.
Nerds!
What does that make us then?
Nerds?
And how?
Ow!
We could really use an episode 21 right now.
Just us, Justice Ducks. Underrated crossover episode.
Wow, they're really naming all the episodes.
Yes. Ouch. Puny God, puny God. Ooh.
Shocking.
No.
What the? Woof.
Oh, a sea monster did naughty by accident. That's around.
Goddamn darkness monster.
Darkwing, no! Who cares about this reality? We can make a better one! One with your grandpa in it!
Wait, where's Bradford? Oh, I suppose you'd rather fly around in an unmarked helicopter.
Yeah, really.
Your little adventure fantasy is coming
Fucking
to an
villains.
end, Big Duck.
Well, you just lost your job.
Reality just got a lot more dangerous.
Took your time.
Duck saves and good.
God damn it.
Guess I'm stuck with the reality of that.
That doesn't mean you should give up. Launchpad knows a shocking number of super scientists. Look, you got knocked down, beat up, and blown up today. But what matters is that you get back up. And I promise, I'll help you find your family. I was wondering if you wanted to be my crime-fighting partner?
Really? I mean, yeah. I could stick around for that.
Go to.
I'm coming too. I'll spend my days in Duckburg, nights in St. Canard, and I'll sleep on the drive over. It's here to stay.
Let's get dangerous.
I smell spin-off.
Wow.
Ah.
Clap,
Yay!
clap,
They-
clap.
I
What?
saw some people came back.
Yeah?
Yeah. Michael Bell.
I did hear they got some of the original people
Yeah.
back. And I did hear it sound like them. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, that was so good. Oh, I loved it.
That was fun. I love.
Yes.
Not only is it great with the crossover with Darkwing Duck, but also it's setting up the rest of the season now with Fowl. Because I mean, it feels like the last 3 or 4 episodes we've been talking about like what are they going to do with Fowl? What are they going to do with Fowl? And now all of a sudden they throw it in this big crossover. Which,
I am so surprised they did that. Like, now the plot lines have actually converged, and it makes sense for, the Duck family to be involved in all this, and not just be on the side. I am just so surprised, and they outed friggin', was it Bradsworth, was this?
Bradford, yeah.
Yeah, they outed him out, flat out by himself. I was really surprised. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call him Sean. But, oh my...
I mean, they could only keep it under wraps for so long. I mean, they were freaking under funzos. It's like...
Driving around in copters with Fowl logos on them.
Seriously, it was only a matter of time before one of the villains was going to reveal themselves.
Mm-hmm. I found it interesting, his whole spiel, why he's doing this, is because he hates the chaos caused by their villains and he wants control. That kind of reminds me a bit of, in later seasons of Korra, what happens. It goes from, chaotic villains to control villains. And I kind of approve of that. But then, at the same time, I still think he's being really naive, and, we're a fiendish organization, we're not supervillains. I'm like,
Yeah, kind of are.
The people you employ, the people you work with, they're kind of one and the same when you think about it.
it's like that SpongeBob meme, where Patrick's like, oh, and SpongeBob's pointing to all this stuff. That's basically what this is like. Oh, we're not super villains.
Granted, if we're going by technical terms, they really don't have any super-powered people working in the organization, but even still...
But they have, technology.
They have the
and all this.
technology.
Plus, you don't need powers to be a supervillain. Joker's a good example. Just, and heck, like you said, Quackerjack doesn't have powers, and he's a supervillain.
The Riddler doesn't have powers either. He's just really smart.
It's all about, the grand scale in which you do things, your resources, and your presence. That's what makes you a supervillain. Just
Big emphasis on the resources.
Yes.
And I know Fowl lends toward more the spy side of things in terms of being an evil organization, but when you consider some of the shit that they've done, both in this series and the past, yeah, you guys are a supervillain organization. Don't kid yourselves.
Yeah, really.
So, where do we even start with this? There's so much to unravel.
So much to unpack here.
I know.
I'd say, basically, I would say that this marks the midpoint of the season.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like this is ultimately, it's going to change the course of the rest of the story, the rest of the episodes to come.
Now that they know officially about Fowl, and that it's only a matter of time before the rest of the villains are outed as being part of the organization, and then it's going to be an amassing of 2 separate armies going against each other. But now I'm wondering, like, now that they know that Bradford is, like, behind it, like, Scrooge is gonna have to probably dismantle his whole, like, empire, just trying to see how deeply, like, foul has been ingrained in them. It's like when, it's like in Captain America when they found out that,
Hydra
that Hydra was embedded into
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Please.
Yeah, spoilers for...
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, spoilers for what? Captain America, Winter Soldier, and, like...
The rest of...
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They know. The point is now everybody's going to be looked at, and you know some are going to be like outed, and there's going to be confrontations, and it's just going to be nuts.
And also if they're going to be going after, because, you know, we've spent the first half of the series, you know, because they're looking for all the relics and stuff, and Fowl's looking for the same things too. So it's a matter of time before they figure out that, oh, Fowl's chasing after the same stuff they are. So now it really becomes a race to get the last couple of things.
Also, doesn't this mean that now Scrooge is going to have to move everything in the bin?
The Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next episode, the Impossible. Like, that probably ties into this, I'm guessing.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
This would be a follow-up into that.
Because, like, I know he has that secret bin in his house, but you know he's got to have multiple bins.
Yeah. Like he's probably looking for the one with the most, security protocols, and if anything, from like the commercials I've seen for like the upcoming episodes, it looks like there's one where they have like an intricate series of traps and stuff.
It's like that. What was it? That one episode where he's in the. Where there's like the secret vault. There's like all these like different doors and stuff, and Webby gets involved in.
Yeah, that was the other bin.
Yeah,
the other bin. That's what it was.
Yeah, point is there's going to be a massive overhaul in the next few episodes. I just know it, but like I'm wondering, like, can they continue adventuring like they do? Because now that they know that they're being like followed and there's an active threat, like.
Well, do they know they're being followed?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They don't just.
What if his chief financial advisors like turned out to be the head of Fowl? And considering he runs all of Scrooge's finances, you know he has his hand in like every single aspect of everything. So clearly he knows about all the backup contingencies and so on and so forth.
Well, so
that doesn't necessarily mean that Scrooge knows how deep it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like
yes,
you said,
he does. He's the financial planner.
As in how
he
deep,
looks at every single.
No, what I'm saying is how deep is he doesn't know how deep Fowl's plans go. If he, thinks that even any of the stuff that he's been looking for would even be of interest to Fowl.
All right, fine.
Yeah, they probably don't know. Scrooge doesn't know how much Fowl knows about the treasures that they've been, or even if they're even interested in that sort of thing. They only know that at this point they only know Fowl exists.
Yeah, I mean
they don't know what their MO is.
But Fowl is a larceny organization. Obviously, they know they're going to steal shit. So you know that the chances are they're going to have to like lock away the book or whatever.
Yeah. Keep in mind too, the only reason that it seems Fowl knows about the book is because they had a spy camera as a looking like a fly.
All right.
So yeah, I don't think Scrooge is entirely aware of just how deep their plans go.
All right, fine. I'll give it that.
It's just something now on Scrooge's radar.
Well, all the Fowl stuff aside, let's focus on the rest of the episode as was. Like, so, dear God, they were very detailed in like how they constructed the whole Darkwing universe for this. Like, it's pretty much how I remember it, and like even like a little darker because like they definitely go out in the whole Gotham atmosphere for the whole thing.
Yeah, they definitely, they keep it like the old series, but updated ever so slightly, so that it's, in the modern age.
Well, they still don't explain how Drake has access to this secret lair and all of this technology. It even has an AI, which I don't remember him having in the other show.
Well, I guess I wanted to update it for today, because, it would make sense for him to have, a supercomputer with an AI built in.
I know he said he talked to Fenton and I guess got Gyro involved, but I'm like, so Scrooge doesn't remember him, so does he know and has he approved of Gyro lending all of his tech to this guy that, he probably doesn't approve of what he's doing?
He probably doesn't know.
He probably doesn't even remember having helped him at all.
He doesn't even remember him being involved in the moon invasion, so how would he notice a bunch of tech.
Yeah, but why the hell would Gyro give him all this tech then? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, because it's Fenton.
Because Fenton appreciates someone else who's also being a superhero like he is, like Gizmo Duck.
Okay, I suppose that makes sense given how Fenton is.
Yes.
and yet Darkwing's still a street
Well, he thinks that the two are separate.
Yeah.
Yes.
To be fair, at least they collaborated a lot more, at least better than in the original series. At least he's like going to him, like saying, "Are you sure you can't find a way how to like find your grandfather?" And I'm like, okay, good. So at least that he doesn't despise him enough to, go against asking for help. Even though I thought they'd do more with Gizmo Duck instead of just keeping him on that freaking bridge the whole time. Of course.
I think we're trying to, separate the two, series as best we can. Just so that, Darkwing can kind of stand, and Darkwing, Goslin, and Launchpad can stand on their own.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, they need to stand on their own. I mean, Gizmo Duck is more focused with DuckTales. It's definitely, and I think they definitely want to keep that association more with DuckTales.
Understandable.
Because otherwise it's going to be way too confusing if you have... Because it's bad enough we have Launchpad, alright? It's bad enough you got Launchpad bouncing around in between two different places with two different shows while driving in his car, going in between... sleeping in his car, driving.
I work at Duckford during the day and Jane Kennard at night. I'll sleep in the car.
Knowing him, he'll pull it off somehow.
Yes. Oh, that's great, though. And I'm glad he finally offered an explanation for that, because they never offer an explanation in the show.
I know.
Like, the closest they said was that he used to work for Scrooge, which makes you think Scrooge finally fired him at some point. But they mostly said that, oh yeah, this is two different timelines, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that would have been nice to know.
Well, that and, Launchpad's a pilot, so he could be in numerous places.
Right.
He's like a pilot for hire.
And it doesn't seem like, he's constantly working for Scrooge.
Right.
So,
no.
Yeah, it seems like he has some time to,
Yeah, I don't doubt his ability to go work between the two people. That's not...
But this makes more sense in, just having, with Launchpad being associated with both of them. And does this mean we get a Darkwing Duck spinoff? Maybe? I mean, I have seen articles online hinting that that's kind of what they want to go to. They want to try to build this, like, Disney afternoon, like, universe kind of thing. Like, an actual, like, integrated universe, like
which they've already been in the process of doing.
Which they have been, but they haven't but up until this point, it's only been just in the DuckTales show. Like, they haven't spun off any of the other characters in other shows. At least not yet.
They kind of have, but on a lesser scale. Like, for instance, Goofy showed up. And
yes.
And they alluded to the gummy bears being ancient creatures. We saw fucking Bonkers. I predicted that shit.
I was like, wow, like, really, we're really going
My
there.
powers of clairvoyancy impress even me sometimes.
Keep in mind, we still haven't gotten to Tailspin yet, because
we've got Don Carnage, and there is, and, they've been alluding to
Cape
Suzette, yes.
So it's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time, yeah.
Plus, we've seen, Kit show up in that poster for the new season. So we know that they're bound to show up soon.
And we already got Rescue Rangers. Oh, wait, we can't.
Thanks for the rescue.
Name redacted.
With the Washington football team? What?
Oh, God. The point is, like, everything has been starting to be set up. So they can... Now that I've seen this, they can easily do their own spin-off. And this time, they actually have a plot driving it forward, the search for her grandfather.
Yes.
I am really surprised that they did that, because I was so convinced that he was, like, dead or blinked out of existence or something. But the fact that he might still be alive, and that's their whole, like, search and stuff, like... That is like really good.
And not only that, but having Dewey mention that, he knows what it's like to have somebody be missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was brilliant.
I like that, throwback to first season 1 with Dewey's arc and trying to find Della. So I thought that worked very beautifully.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, still awkward interaction given how Dewey is, but I do like that they were able to at least bond over that.
Yeah.
And she was at least willing to meet him halfway on his colloquialism, so.
They need to work on those.
Yeah. So. And then as for the villains, like, here's something I'm really shocked that they didn't do. They didn't keep the villains in this universe. Because I feel like they could have got some more mileage on that.
Well, we've still got Bulba.
Well, obviously Bulba's still there. He's probably going to come back
Bulba.
at some point, because he does come back in the original series, and he's upgraded. But I figured they would still keep, the Furious Four around. I was expecting also a Negaduck cameo, which since this universe already has a Negaduck, is quite possible.
Although, since they already have a Negaduck, like, that could...
He could show up at any time.
He could show up at any time, but now if we're thinking, okay, if this is going to set up for a Darkwing Duck spin-off, does Negaduck return in the new Darkwing Duck show, or does he show up in DuckTales and just have Darkwing? Like, how is that going to play out? So, I mean, I'd be okay with either or, although I probably at this point would be leaning more towards just having him show up in the new Darkwing Duck series if that's where they're going.
That, or he could also integrate into Fowl.
That's another option, and that's yet to be determined as we head into the second half of the series, second half of the season.
Oh God, Fowl's gonna kick Bulba's ass.
Fowl is not happy with this.
Again, this alludes back to my whole issue. It's like they said they're not supervillains, but you're dealing with a guy who wants to bend the fabric of reality and create his own reality.
He's a supervillain.
How did you think that would play out? I do like how Bulba is on this, because in the old one, I don't remember too much other than he was voiced by Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like the most noteworthy thing about him, and otherwise he just seemed like a regular like crime boss trying to, get his hands on money and stuff. But now it's like he's actually like charming and persuasive, and he, if you didn't know his backstory already, he fools you into thinking he might actually be a good guy, but nope. And I love his voice actor.
Yeah. James Inghart Monroe.
Yeah, James Englehart Monroe.
Monroe Inghart. I keep getting his three names mixed up.
He played the genie on the stage version of Aladdin.
Yep.
Ah.
He was also,
and if you watch Tangled, he was
Lance.
Lance, yeah.
I love his voice. I love how charismatic he is. And he did a great job as Bulba. Actually, all the voice actors did a great job. I like who voiced Goslin.
Yes.
Like, I know you can never really beat the original, but she, I thought, did a really damn good job.
Yes.
Like, very emotional. I love how she said Darkwing's, opening thing. I always expected her to show up in costume.
Yes.
Because I do like he wants her to be his partner as opposed to just, a kid that he protects. Like, I've been dying for that to happen.
It kind of felt like that's where they were going, and I'm glad that they're going in this direction with that.
Because I keep seeing all this cool fan art of, Goslin in her own Darkwing uniform, as his ward, and I'm like, why didn't they ever do that in the original show? Like, that would have been so cool. And I hope if they do a crossover, that's where it heads. Because we need a, what name should we call her? Like, Dark Goslin or something? Darkwing Gauze or something?
Dark Gauze, Nightwing. No, wait, no. Although I kind of get that vibe, like what DuckTales is to what DuckTales is to Darkwing Duck is what Batman is to Nightwing, because it's what Duckburg is to was it Saint
Canard?
Saint Canard is what Gotham City is to Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
So because I kind of get that kind of vibe.
Yes, I do get that as well. In fact, not only that, and it's a weird sort of. I wonder if they were even referencing this maybe. But when they first come into Saint Canard and you see Darkwing up on the bridge looking down, it reminds me of an episode of Justice League Unlimited where I think it was. One of the times that they actually went into Bloodhaven to do the battle thing, and you actually see for a split second you see Nightwing in the background in kind of that same pose that Darkwing did too.
Appropriate.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was intentional or not, but funny little thing to throw in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So. What else can I really say about it? Everything was great. I love the references. I love the voice acting. I love the action and everything. I love seeing him take on the Furious Four. Like,
I love that we even like put Scrooge and the boys into the the 80s, 90s version. It's like that's the second time we're doing
that again.
But this time, like, they legit were in form.
In that dimension, not in some, like, dream.
Yeah.
Some, like, wish dream.
They were actually, like, in the costumes and the look.
I will say the one thing I was a bit disappointed with is that you don't hear Bushroot talk. And I understand why they did that, because I think he's the only voice actor from the original who actually has passed on. Like, I don't remember the voice actor's name, but I remember him. Like, I used to watch Bobby's World. He voiced the uncle. That's the only reason I remember him so distinctly. But, yeah, in this one, he just sounds like a screechy monster or whatever. I do like that they allude to the fact that, well, technically, he's not actually a villain. Because that is, like, one of the things about Bushroot is that he was more a victim of circumstance, and he's kind of more misguided than he is villainous. It honestly doesn't make sense, really, that he's in the Furious Four, other than the fact that he's one of Darkwing's most well-known villains and the most powerful. But that's why I was hoping that he and the other villains would, like, stick around. They could have, expanded upon them a bit. Maybe humanize them a bit more. And I know with certain villains, it's, like, impossible because of how psychotic they are, but they could have done more.
Here's an idea. Because, like, the whole thing with the dimensions, like the time and space, like, kind of, like, the dimensions are kind of, like, fall. What if, as part of the spin-off with Darkwing Duck, like, there's, like, all of a sudden there's, like, rifts that just open up, like, dimensions just all of a sudden just, like, sparks just, like, pop up a little bit all over the city? Because it's still kind of, as, like, I guess, like residue, whatever, from,
so it's like Avengers and Thor and all that, just friggin', like, portals in the sky and whatever.
But it's like random portals, and then all of a sudden some of the supervillains then come back, like, that way, because of just random rips in it, because it's still unstable.
That, or, I'm also thinking they might have, like, copycat villains.
True.
Like, people who, they saw, these villains either for the first time or they knew the show, and they, they kind of try to create the personas themselves.
Or they just recreate the villain.
They could inspire others to, like, yeah.
Or they recreate the villains like they did with DuckTales, and how they kind of redid everything and just do and update everything for today. Do it that way.
I will say there is one inconsistency that I've been wondering in regards to the other dimensions and stuff, and I don't want to get too much into it because dealing with interdimensional
multiverse
shift
theory
is, like, so complicated, but I figured the way they were presenting it was that you go through a portal, you end up as your alternate self in the other dimension. But, like, when the other characters come through, like, when the villains come through, they obviously know of Darkwing. They fought against Darkwing, yet this other universe has a Darkwing. So, if Darkwing happened to go back into their universe, there would be two Darkwings, or would he take over the role of the other Darkwing?
That just raises too many questions.
Again, like I said, I don't want to get too much into it because the whole multiverse theory, it is so inconsistent.
While on that subject, too, I noticed, I think there was, like, a thing where you see, like, dogs of different colors. Wasn't that, like, a show a show that Zen and Rowdy reviewed?
I think I do vaguely remember that show. Like, it was really bad according to that.
Fluppies or something like that.
Yeah. Damn, they're digging deep if they're referencing that. Like, even I don't remember that. And I watched Disney Channel religiously growing up. Let's just give final thoughts and wrap this up, because, dear God, there's so much to gush about, but not enough time. So, you start first.
I mean, I don't really think there's any final thought to give. I think we've said what we need to say. We very much like this. We know this is basically like the midpoint of the series, so it's, everything is now a potential for a spin-off, as well as, the new story dynamic for the rest of DuckTales Season 3. So, yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot that was exciting about this. I can't gush enough about this.
And you?
I love how they've, once again, like, they set up Darkwing Duck for a potential spin-off, but they also still continued the storyline for season 3, and they were able, and it wasn't like one overpowering the other. They did for the most part able to balance the two quite nicely, being able to set everything in the way they set everything up, and it's just gotten me more excited now for possibly could be 2 series now. It could possibly be DuckTales and a Darkwing series. We could get Darkwing either next year or the following year. We could get.
That would be amazing. Because I know, like, DuckTales obviously isn't going to last forever.
No.
Because if they're wise, they'll keep it self-contained. I'm assuming maybe 4 or 5 seasons at most, if I had to.
If they don't end it here.
Yeah.
If they don't end it
here. But I think this is a good jumping off point for them. And I really hope they seize the opportunity. Because honestly, a lot of people still don't realize this, but Darkwing Duck is still popular. People still read it. My sister collects the comics, and there are comics that go as high as like over $100. Like, that is how determined people are to get these comics.
Not to mention, a few years ago, there was a Darkwing Duck DuckTales crossover in the comics.
Yeah, and it was great. So, yeah, there's a demand for this, and there's definitely going to be a demand for this spinoff. So I think it's the perfect thing to introduce the new generation to Darkwing Duck. So please, creators, please, Disney, please, whoever the hell's in charge, make this happen. It needs to happen. So that being said, next time we see you will be for the Impossibin, where I assume we deal with the fallout of everything that happened from this episode and how they plan to deal with Fowl. And I'm pretty certain we're going to get some insight into Webby and Mrs. Beakley's whole thing, because, we haven't revisited that plot line quite yet. So until next time, everyone, I'm Kat Macberrie.
I'm Eric Stoller.
I'm Doug Macberrie.
And just remember, when you're in trouble, you call DW.